Hello, hello. I hear the dinging, so notifications did go out. Welcome everybody. Come on in. A little bit late. My schedule is a little bit wonky this week. Hopefully, things will start getting back to normal. Hopefully by next week, somewhat normal, not normal, but this week is kind of taken a little bit of a turn. That's what it's taken, but it's okay. The turn is good. Let me see. I put my notes, put them up here so I have them. But I mean, as the energies, when I look and I tap into it, there is a lot of restlessness and not like right now. I am not fully sleeping. I don't know about the rest of you. My sleep is kind of all over the place. And this is where it it is a dance. It is a dance of the energies right now. And I I'm wanting people to really pay attention to how they're following the narrative, okay? And with what the information um you know people are texting me about my husband, so I have to answer. So it is so important for you to really watch how you're following the narrative and how you're feeding into it, especially when it comes to just with the media, with the talk of war, because the war talk is out there. You don't have to listen to the news to know it's out there. You can feel it. There is rumblings, but there's so many aspects to it. The other thing is like with all of this is where we're coming into um kind of like, with Venus and Mars will be entering Aquarius. So this is a nice tight conjunction and it's going to set the stage for liberation. The thing is that it's not going to happen. It's not just going to happen. Each one of us needs to make it happen. So you are free to decide. When you decide, you are free and act in and out of that freedom. That freedom is there. So you are bound when you allow yourself to be bound, and you are loved and love when you are open to it and channel to it. So this is an opening of our heart chakra. This is opening up of our energy, allowing our energy to be open to this newness, open to this boundness, looking at our blocks. This is a time about freeing ourselves from the external manipulation by realizing that we are the creators of our own reality. As long as we are creating reality, there's no sleeping. So this is creation. This requires attention to what we want to do, how we want to create our reality. How do you want to step into this newness? What is that feeling like? What is that doing for you? This is a time where with this, energy, with the persistence and liberation and invention and observation, and just about have Aquarius summed up. We have Saturn there for another year, and Mars for 6 weeks, and Venus for a month, and Mercury for only a couple more weeks. Let's go most of this mileage. Let's take advantage of this forward motion to allow ourselves to come into this shifting of our consciousness. How do you want to shift your consciousness? How do you want to shift your energy? And this is what's important, is looking at what's important to you shifting. I have a quote here. Well, the quote left me here. I got to read this quote that I got. I am a spark that will light the flame so the torch of freedom can rise again, lightening the way to spirit land where we all dance hand in hand. Love that. That came from K Pacha. So here we are. We're in this lovely dance, and we're just, with the energies that we are just coming off of this new moon, Mercury doing the final pass over Saturn. And this is with Saturday, things are going to take off. Both the sun is going to conjunct Jupiter and Venus and Mars, both moving into a wild and crazy Aquarius energy. So this is to bespeak a speeding of light and energy. This is us taking that forward motion into this energy. Now, you know me, guys. I am not, if it's damper energy, I'm going to tell you it's damper energy. If it's dismal, I'll say, hey, right now this is really dismal. This energy of change, this energy of transformation is here, and it is fabulous and beautiful for us. That's why it is so important to really watch how you are following the narrative. What are you following down on? Now, there are things that you are going to see. Yes, things that okay, when I fill up my tank, I know my tank is going to cost me more. Okay, there is things that are happening, we know, yet it's how you relate to that, right? It's how you relate to that. And that's why I come back to the education, understanding what the economics are, understanding what all of this is happening on the world front, all of the chaos, all of the nuttiness. What is this all about? And it's so important to understand the history of it. And when I understand that, when I look into the history and then the different alignments at that time, it just blows my mind. It blows my mind how things are so similar, yet, of course, different than how they're unfolding for us now. It's where we're seeing the energies of crazier tyrants and that coming and trying to put their will on us. But each and every time, the lesson is, do you fully understand the other person without judgment? There's a process here that we have to go through, and understanding that not, and this is part of the forefront of the change that's coming forward. Not everybody's going to believe the way that you believe. That's the whole thing. Not everybody's going to do it the way that you think you need to do it. Here in the West, we have an assumption that everybody should do everything the way that we do and think the way that we do. We have a country, the United States, who's going through huge changes with the Pluto, and it's going to happen 3 times. This Pluto conjunction in Capricorn that digs up the truth, that digs up the rewriting. Is this really truly the path that you want to take on? Because the path, when you look at what happened, say, let's go with 1776, I don't think the forefathers were looking at changing he, thee, they, and all these pronouns to something else. They weren't looking at it that way. They were looking at a country that they wanted to bring together as unity, as a republic. Anyways, this is what we have to look at. It's like, what is that narrative that you're falling down into? What is that energy you're falling into? And is that where you want to be? And here we have that there may be too much and too rapid a shifting going on that then turns into trauma. But if you have your seatbelt fastened, and that's what I said the other day, I kept seeing the angels telling me, fasten up your seatbelt. And are you ready to catapult to a new level of awareness? This could be your time. This is a time. I see the angels. They kept on saying, buckle up. I'm like, buckle up. Yeah. So when the angels tell you to buckle up, it's time to buckle up. Buckle up. So they're telling us to buckle up because we are going to be catapulted to some newness. And this is where we have to look at the changes and come in with these changes. And there are a lot of mind games out there and a lot of different avenues that are trying to pull us in different ways. But I feel like we're in this G-force energy that we're just like shifting, going like this, as we're shifting and going along, pulling us into this new world, this new earth, this new way of coming together. And with that, we come into this mastery of energy, the mastery of self, this intense phase of self mastering, of looking at what we are wanting to achieve and coming into that achievement and allowing ourselves to balance this with the flow and the grace and the ease. And with that, we have to come up into, and again, here it comes up, it's saying you got to bring it up into the playing field. You got to keep the heart chakra open in order for you to process a lot of it. Now, everybody's going to do this at their own rate. Everybody's going to have their own way of doing this. We're not all going to be at the same rate of it. And that's what we have to understand. And in understanding that, in realizing that, we can hold space for that person. Some people will be going through the trauma. It's a lot. As we open up and we're taking off the fucking masks, and people are realizing that, oh, why did we do all of this awareness? A lot to process, a lot there to process. So we have to allow for that space of processing, of healing, as we are going forward. We are a humanity, a connection of one another. When we come into that connection, when we realize it, and really step in and start taking that responsibility for ourselves, but knowing the other person has to take responsibility for themselves too. But we can stand there and we can be there and we can hold the space in a non-judgmental way. It is confusing. It is a confusing time with so much up in the air. And I swear that the only way to make sense of what is happening is through a consistent determination, routine, and spiritual practice. That's the only way to get through this. This is a time of craziness. This is a time where, like, for instance, on the stock market yesterday, they held wheat as one of the commodities. They stopped trading it for a while. The reason being, it was going crazy. And it's like, oh my God, they've never had that before. We are going to see things soar to heights that we've never had. I mean, used cars, usually when you drive a used car off the lot, it depreciates. Now used cars are increasing by 30 to 40% over the price you actually paid for it. We're seeing things differently, and it's kind of crazy, and it's kind of shaking it up, and that's where we're at. So, got to love ourselves, just like I'm going to be loving myself over the next couple days. I decided I'm not going to be sending out the new moon readings for people. I will be tacking it onto them. I'll be posting this up on social media to let people know. I don't have the energy, and I really want to be able to give you the best reading I can. So I need to honor myself with that. I am actually physically exhausted. I'm the type of person that will go through shit and go through and go through and go through and just carry on. But in what I teach, that's wrong. I don't teach that. I tell people you got to honor your journey and honor yourself. So that's what I'm going to be doing. I'm going to be honoring myself. Still be on social media, and posting, but I won't be doing the new moon readings for people this month. You will get the full moon reading and you'll get an extra reading at the end. That's what I'll be doing. And that way, same with readings. I think my first reading's next Monday. And so all my readings I have moved to another time. So just letting people know right at this time. And that's just so I can spend time with my husband helping. We got physio and that coming in tomorrow. I want to be present with the physio and just in the healing process, right? So this is a whole new healing process for us all, especially even though the stroke wasn't severe. But the funny thing, what I have noticed with people after either stroke or heart attack is the amount of anger that comes out. And it's almost like all of the shit that you've been hanging on in the heart chakra starts to come out, and it can cause depression. It can cause lowness. And understanding that is a big one. And the thing is, he's a Scorpio, I'm a Scorpio. He's a Scorpio Capricorn, I'm a Scorpio Cancer, which is quite funny. Where his moon is in Capricorn, my moon is in Cancer. And so sometimes things can collide in great catastrophes, because it's that Scorpio kind of like energy that comes out, and it can be very sparky. That's what we'll put it, sparky. So it's just having to go with a new flow, and that's the transitioning that we're taking at this time. So everyone, thank you. And I'm going to, from the bottom of my heart, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. I so appreciate people sending me money for parking. God bless you. You don't know how much that actually helped. Thank you for the coffee money. Oh my God. That's, you're just, between people who buy me coffee and wine, you guys, you know what? You're in the highest books right now. Just love it. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So for all those who've really helped out, the little bit that, it's just a little bit, it's not a whole bunch, but it's the perfect amount. And I thank you very much for everything. So the other thing, I am doing a spiritual protection class coming up on March 19th. This class it deals with spiritual protection, psychic attacks. I think it's important because you're going to be feeling it a lot more as we're going through a lot of these transitions and changes within the world. So, because a lot of cracks are cracking open wide, and so a lot of craziness is coming out. It kind of reminds me of Hades when he opened up for the Titans to come out in Hercules. So if you don't know what I'm talking about, watch Hercules from Disney. And when Hades opened it up, and he opened the crack up, and all this craziness came out, and all the gods got, the Titans came in to take the gods away, and Hercules came and saved the day. But that's the whole thing. It's like there is this energy that's coming in to allow us to take charge and take the steps forward that we need. Play music, listen to your favorite song, watch your favorite music, favorite movie, and have a very blessed Thursday, everyone. So may the Lord and the Lady watch over and bless each and every one of you in all that you say and all that you be and all that you do. Thank you for being a part of my community. God bless, and the Goddess bless you. Bye-bye.